Hello everybody, Maven here, and just when you thought the Strand Hunter Threaded Specter Bombardiers build couldn't get any more annoying in Crucible, it did, because now we have Prismatic. And on Prismatic, you can pair Threaded Specter along with Winter Shroud. So the idea here is that you dodge next to somebody in Crucible, the Winter Shroud slows them, so they cannot get away from your Threaded Specter or your Bombardier's Bomb, and they just blow up and die against their will. It's basically a free kill every time you get close to somebody in Crucible. It's kind of nasty. So if you're somebody who hates getting shotgunned and punched by Titans in Crucible, then this is the build for you. I'm going to put some background gameplay while I go over the rest of the build. Hope you enjoy. And by the way, I did cover this Bombardier's Threaded Specter build before. I think it was like a year ago. So I'll link that down below if you want to go and check it out and see some more sweet Bombardiers clips. In this video, I definitely didn't spam the Bombardiers kills as much as I should have, but still, note down in the background gameplay every time I get a dodge kill. Because in my experience, you probably get like 2 dodge kills per game. It's pretty consistent. It's very good utility. So now let me break down the build. Our abilities are Marksman Dodge, so it charges quicker, and then Strafe Jump, Smoke Bomb, and Grapple. Now I like to combo Grapple along with the Bombardier's Dodge. I just grapple punch them and immediately dodge out, and that is incredibly hard to counter and incredibly hard to survive. So whenever you have those 2 abilities up at the same time, it's basically just going to be a free kill. So our first fragment is Facet of Dawn. We become radiant by getting a hit with either our Smoke Bomb or our Grapple Punch. And then we got Facet of Mending, which says Grenade Final Blows cure you, aka your Grapple Punch. And then Facet of Blessing, melee final blow, start health regeneration, aka your Grapple Punch. And then Facet of Bravery, defeating targets with grenade final blows grants volatile rounds to your void weapons and unraveling rounds to your strand weapons. You guessed it, aka your Grapple Punch. So yeah, needless to say, we got 100 discipline with this build, and grapple is like the main thing in our toolkit that we're trying to spam whenever we get the chance. However, though Facet of Bravery wants you to run a strand or void weapon, we also have Facet of Grace, where defeating targets with kinetic weapons grants you bonus transcendent energy. So what do? Do you run a kinetic weapon as your primary, or do you run a strand or a void weapon? Well, I honestly don't know why I have both of these together, so you kind of got to pick which one to replace. So whichever one you do replace, I'd probably replace it with Facet of Solitude, where landing rapid precision hits emits a severing blast. However, I don't know how effective that is in Crucible, or if it even works in Crucible. So if that doesn't work, then you can just use something that boosts a stat. And finally, our last fragment is Facet of Hope. While you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. And Facet of Dawn is giving us Radiant pretty easily. So that's going to give us more dodge energy, which synergizes with the Bombardiers. And for my mod setup, I'm just running Targeting, Unflinching, and Loaders. And then on my gloves, I got Impact Induction, which is in a weird spot with Grapple. It's very, very good. It acts like Grenade Kickstart in a way, because your Grapple Punch counts as a powered melee, but refunds grenade energy, so it kind of works off of itself. And then on our boots, we got Absolution, Innervation, and Insulation, and on our class item, Bomber, Outreach, and Reaper. And for our stats setup, try to go tier 9 in mobility, because that's like the hard cap of diminishing returns for Marksman Dodge. It's hard to explain, but I've done a full video before on how stats work. And then try to maintain a minimum of 2 resilience and a minimum of 3 intellect. Try to reach 100 discipline if you can, because grapple really matters for this build, and dump as much into recovery as you can. Now for your weapon choices with this build, you can technically go with anything you want, doesn't matter. But I would recommend double primaries, a long range and close range primary. So have something like a pulse, a scout, or a sniper, and pair that along with an SMG or a sidearm. And the reason for that is the unconsequential aping you can do with this build. There's no downside. So say you're using an SMG or a sidearm with any other build and you're trying to be an aggressive ape, but you see red on your radar around a corner that's too close for comfort, you cannot always push that corner, because you know somebody's camping with a shotgun ready to blast you and shut you down. But with this build, there's no downside. You can challenge every corner. You see red, you don't care. You push it, you either get the kill, or if somebody has a shotgun, or if somebody's in melee range of you, the dodge will shut them down. It's just the complete anti-aping build, but also the unconsequential aping build itself. And that's why I love this build for 6s. Now, I have been a 6 Coyote Strand Hunter main for like several months to a year now at this point, but whenever I play 6s, like when Iron Banner comes around, I always love swapping to the Bombardiers build because it just totally slays out. And one last thing before we end the video, and I promise you this is not to brag or gloat, but I have not touched Crucible in about a month because I've just been busy with Final Shape stuff and I was also away on my trip, yet I can still slay out super hard with this build. And I'll show you some of the end screens from the games we had in the background gameplay so you can see I can still top frag and dominate lobbies, even though 1, I suck at Crucible, and 2, I've been on that month hiatus from Crucible. So that just goes to show how effective this build is in 6v6, and I also guarantee that you're a better PvP player than I am, so if you pick up this build, you can absolutely slap lobbies left and right. So anyways, as always, I'll leave a dim loadout link to this build down below in the description and also the pinned comment if you would like to give it a try. So now that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to drop a like and a comment because that pleases the algorithm gods. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing as we are extremely close to hitting 50K and you can help me get there. And thank you so much if you do. And I will catch you in the next video. See you later.